Wait in line. Do you flush before you're done peeing?
Always. Bro, I've become the world's fastest peer for a reason.
So funny. And then you're like, oh, dang it, we'll flush too soon.
Oh, yeah, it's a meta game in there.
Double
For
flush.
sure, there's a game in there.
Welcome to Peeling the Orange, where we're here with Cozy Snap. We're here with Cozy Snap. Wait, do you...
Just call him Cozy.
Just Cozy.
Cozy?
Dexter.
Deck.
Deck works, but Dexter, maybe.
Deck is the original.
Snapster.
Deck was my original name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Multiverse.
Multiverse. The multiverse.
Yeah. Between all of us, we have 30 years of content creation. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, 3 decades. That's a big number.
If you merge us all into one person, what would we look like?
Probably pretty similar to what we look like.
We'd be a pretty cool content creator.
Oh,
We'd
yeah.
be pretty good. Yeah, we actually all look the same pretty much.
So, Dexter, what's your origin story?
Oh my God, my origin story. From way back?
Yeah.
All the way back? First video I ever recorded
There we go.
Oh, I love
was
this. This is
a
great.
Halo 2 montage.
That's a lie. It was Minecraft.
No, it wasn't. No. I'm not a big Minecrafter. I did a Halo 2 montage. I recorded it on VHS over my parents' wedding tape.
Are you serious?
No way.
Yeah. Because it was I didn't know it was their wedding tape. I just grabbed the VHS. I recorded it. They're divorced, so it's all right.
Okay.
But yeah.
Are
But
they
that was-
divorced because of that?
Yeah, it's all my
We don't
fault.
even have our wedding on film. Just Halo.
There's no evidence of our love.
Just Zanzibar with a rocket.
That's what did it. But yeah, I did that. And then after that, I started doing like some Mirror's Edge speed runs.
Mirror's Edge.
Yeah, I was
Game I
like
forgot existed.
I was like top 5 in Mirror's Edge for a while.
That was the one with the really crazy graphics and the...
Yeah.
It was.
I
yeah.
loved that game. That was so good. And then I started doing Little Big Planet stuff.
That was my favorite thing I learned about
Yeah.
you. I loved it. That was such a kind of a hidden gem of a game, Little Big
Yeah.
Planet.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago. That's like right when it launched. But then people were stealing my content, so I was like, "Oh, this YouTube thing's kind of stupid."
And that was
'cause-
12 years ago?
About, yeah. And then I stopped. Then I was working corporate, and as I was working corporate, I would
What did you study in school?
economics. I have a bachelor's in economics, and I did accounting. I did some banking stuff, and I would rush home from work to just film a Hearthstone video. Like every day, I just do a new one and a new one, and I just did it because it was my passion. I just enjoyed it, and it was a good time. I never expected to become a streamer or a content creator, but it just started taking off. My YouTube took off. And then people kept begging me to stream, so I started streaming on YouTube actually. And then
How long ago was it that you streamed?
this was 6 years ago, 7
Right
years.
when they were just launching the live stream.
Live, yeah.
Yeah. I think it was around that time, and I was getting a lot of viewers relative to this size of my channel. I think I had like 10K subs, and I had like 600 concurrent. And then Twitch came at me and offered me a partnership, and so I started doing that. I started just streaming on Twitch. But yeah, then I started making more money than my day job if you factor in commute. And so I quit and I went full time.
Woo.
But that was after like 2 years of daily videos.
Yeah.
I always want to ask you, did you watch Dexter's Lab a lot?
No, I watched it a little bit. Do you want my name origin?
Yeah, well, I want everyone's, like your original gamertag or anything like that.
Yeah.
I would love to know.
Gamertag before YouTube
Yeah.
channel as
It's
well?
like what, Shadow Killer 70 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, my name's Origin. I played a lot of World of Warcraft from Classic up until I think BFA. But my name was Deck, D-E-K-K. I was a feral druid back when it was the hardest.
Nice.
And I was like top of my server, not that it matters. I switched servers.
Humble flex.
I switched servers and the name was taken. So I was like, what do? I still want to be Deck. So I just added Stir. I think because like my brother really watched like Dexter a lot, like the serial killer Dexter.
Much
But I
different
also
Dexter
I also like Dexter's Lab.
Okay.
So I just combined them, Dexter. And a lot of people think it's because I play card games. I make decks. I'm Dexter. That's not it. But it's a nice coincidence. I'm not complaining. But
What about you? What about you, OJ? What was your original gamer tag?
There wasn't any gamer tag that stuck around until Yarn happened. That was
I
my
remember that.
original,
Yarn?
yeah. I was Yarn from Orange Juice because I was watching a lot of Jake from One Hive, and he was like, "This is Jake from One Hive teaching y'all to suck less." And I was like, cool, I guess I need to be part of something. I guess I'm part of Orange Juice now. Because there's a few people that helped me bring up the channel. Because before that, I was a ski bum. And that was great. I mean, I got really tired of my job. I was a manager at Sunglass Hut, and the regional manager needed deliverables, and your conversion's only 8% of this every time someone walks through. And it's like, okay, well, I can't control the foot traffic. And sometimes there's kids that run back and forth that just trip the sensor, and then my conversion goes to shit.
Oh.
And I was getting really bored of it because I was learning everything that I could about sunglasses. Like, oh, well, the Ray-Ban Aviators are from 1937. They're RB3025. And I'm literally learning like the top selling models, and just there's not much more for me to really get from this job. I got really bored of it. So I was going crazy. I quit that. Became a ski bum for a year, bought a season pass, and went like 4 times a year. Oh, it was great. That was when I switched from snowboarding to skiing just so I could go faster.
Oh, it's usually the other way around.
Oh, I didn't care about looking cool. I just wanted to feel good.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. No, that was a time of my life, and I still look back to that to this day. This was when I was skiing in January, and then Clash Royale came out exactly the same time in January, ski season, and Clash Royale was in beta. So I've always been really good. You're a top druid. I've always been really good at games among my friend circle, and my friend that was driving was like, "Hey, you're really good at this game. Why don't you like make a video on it and like give some advice?" No one really cares about that. Like, who's gonna give a crap about what I have to say about a mobile game? He's like, no, you're really good at games. You should like make a video after the ski trip. Let's edit the video and make something out of it. I posted it the first time, and it got 10,000 views. I'm like, holy crap, 10,000 views. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. Well, why don't you tell the other half of it?
Yeah,
I wasn't there for that.
I remember the first time that we were in Finland on a trip, and obviously all of the creators kind of knew the other creators who were doing Clash Royale stuff, and the community manager was like, "Hey, check out this guy." And this was at the point on YouTube where like nobody edited videos. Like I would record 45-minute balloon videos and just cut the beginning and cut the end and upload it raw, and they'd get like 1 million views. Like the effort was in playing and trying to entertain through conversation, but now it's like you have to keep everybody's attention. And so we were there, and his video, we saw it, and I was like, this guy probably just spent 30 hours editing that video.
I was really big into data. When I was playing Diablo 2, I was looking at the diminishing returns of Magic Find and trying to find the optimal builds for everything.
Love it.
But like this was in grade 7, 8, 9. I'm just looking at these spreadsheets, and I've always loved data, but it was just a lot of work, and people don't remember that I used to be smart. Yeah, now I just rush the bridge and I just tilt all the time. But yeah, those were the times when I was smart at one time.
That's hilarious. Yeah, those were good times.
So what was your OG name?
My OG name. Okay.
No, you didn't.
You didn't. The story. That's right.
You were in Finland.
Oh yeah, so we were in Finland, and we saw the video, and the community manager was like,
that was
"Look
the
at
third video I posted.
Yeah, he was like, "Look at this guy," and we were like, "Whoa!" Like you definitely need to share that. And I think you were asleep at the time because obviously in Finland it's 7 hours ahead or whatever. And so they shared it, and we were like, "I can't wait till tomorrow." Like we were so amped to think about you waking up or like seeing it, because I remember the first time that Clash of Clans shared one of my videos back in friggin' like 2013 or something. They just tweeted about it, and it didn't even like do anything for me, but I was like, oh my gosh, there's recognition. Like getting recognition from the company that you're pouring your time into and getting really devoted to is always super cool. And so I was just stoked for you to like wake up and be like, wait, why is my video doing this good?
Do you remember that day on your side of things?
I was working with my friend. We were both co-editing it because we were both learning how to edit at the time.
Okay.
Like we have 20 years of Photoshop experience, but 0 hours of
it's so different.
Premiere editing, but the ecosystem kind of worked out.
But then you woke up and...
I was working on a video at 4 a.m. and then I think I went to sleep at 7 or something. 7, 8. No, not. I went to sleep at 9 a.m. that day because I was pulling all-nighter to get a video out. And then my friend messaged me at like 10. I was like really groggy. Hello? What's going on? She never calls me. She's like, oh my God. your video is in the game right now.
Yeah, they put it in the game. Were they putting other creators' videos in the game at that point?
PCats maybe once.
Yeah.
But not really.
Why?
And it was like, as soon as you open the game, it was a pop-up window, and everyone in the world saw my video.
Oh, that's like in the game.
Third
And
video
got-
ever, 1 million views.
1 million views. And I was like, wow, I can actually do this for a living. And it's not to say that being featured in game is something you need to grow as a creator, because
Right.
if my following videos were crap, they would have gotten
It would have been worse.
1,000 views at most.
100%. You didn't even get paid for that video because you were right because you didn't have your YouTube channel like checked.
I actually got monetized after the first video, I think.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, the standards were probably different.
Especially because it took me like a week and a half to launch each video, that there was enough time gap for by the time I had the third video to monetize.
Okay, that makes
was
sense.
crazy.
That's so wild.
That's crazy.
What a origin story.
Yeah.
And so and Yarn. And then when did you switch to OJ?
Oh yeah, I didn't tell you about Yarn. It was in middle school when I was playing Maple Story.
Maple Story, nice.
Every name is unique, so I literally just went full zombie mode and just typed in every 4-letter word down the list from A to Z, reached Y, and Yarn wasn't taken. And I was just like, all right, I'm Yarn now.
No
and I
way.
just stuck for the next.
Would have been much different branding. Yarn.
That's
You could have,
crazy.
you could have had your own Yarn.
Yeah, and then because it was like Yarn from Orange Juice, it was Jiro from Orange Juice. At the time, that was my girlfriend that I thought I was going to marry.
Okay.
And then things happened, and so what really did happen is that I ended up focusing so much on work that I didn't really pay attention to her, and then she started paying attention to other guys, and then she ended up cheating on me. I'm okay with it now. Like, I've already come to terms with like what's happened, and I've processed everything. It sounds really traumatizing, and whenever I tell people that, like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. It's like, oh, don't feel sorry. I've already like gone through all the motions, and I'm just living the best life that I am without anything, and yeah.
And that type of stuff helps you help other people who go through it in the moment.
Yeah, it does.
You know?
And that was when I needed to rebrand, because I didn't want her identity to also be associated with that channel. So I privated the 2 videos that she was a part of, and I'm just OJ now.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
So Yarn to OJ. I like it. And then you were Deck, Yarn.
Mine
Was this AOL too? Did you do like was Instant Messenger Yarn?
Oh,
too?
is that?
I had ICQ before that.
Okay.
Old school.
Are we? Do you want the AIM?
I want
the AIM
name, and then I want
Wait, did any of you guys do ICQ?
No, I was AOL Messenger.
Oh, ICQ was before AOL.
Yeah, it was like, and then AOL just like mass. They just won the war, I guess.
They
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
That's crazy. So when Instant Messenger came out, I was really big into skateboarding, and my favorite brand was Enjoy, because that's who Rodney Mullen skated for.
Okay.
And he's like my favorite skater. So my name was Enjoy Beast.
Enjoy Beast.
So ENJOI Beast. I was in a phase where like Beast was that was like the word that I would say for like.
That's Beast.
Yeah.
I remember that era.
Like it was like cool, like whatever. And so it was
Yeah.
like Enjoy Beast. I don't even know how old I was. Probably like.
better than Dope or
So I was
something.
like, So I started with Enjoy Beast was my first ever like screen name, I
Okay.
guess. And then my first gamer tag was in World of Warcraft as well. I played a Resto Druid, and I was top on my server.
There we go.
My name was Work, WURK. So like do work, but
Oh my god, I
work.
know you.
That would be hilarious. And then I made a rogue, and his name was Merciless, but spelled like incorrectly.
That's such a like.
That's a gamer
It's such an
tag.
Xbox. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
My
like,
buddy's name
whoa,
was Dark
Merciless.
Omen. Yeah.
XX_
Yeah.
Dark Mercy Dragon.
Yeah.
I love my brother. He's like the nerdiest kid you could ever meet. And his name was like The Stranger. I'm like, dude, you're like the most like unthreatening. Yeah. Oh man, I like that. I
20 years ago, that's deep, bro.
yeah, exactly, right?
The Stranger.
The hair flip and everything, yeah. I was, I guess I won't dox myself, but my name was, I didn't shut up in school. I was always talking, so that's why I made a career out of YouTube. Talkative, my first name, but Talkative was the first piece of that. And then I played a game, I played a lot of GoldenEye, and I got Nightfire, which was like the sequel to GoldenEye 007.
Yeah.
And I was so stupid that there was cheat codes. And Game FAQs. Did you guys ever go to GameFAQs.com?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's the only place you could get walkthroughs from.
Anything from. Yeah, it was the if you didn't get the strategy book, right? So I look on there and it said magazine. If you type in magazine, you get like double sniping scope, and I was
Yeah.
like, it's like, all right, that's kind of cool. So I was like, where do you enter this in? And I was like, it must be your name. It must be in the name field. So I named myself Magazine, and that was my gamer tag. Yeah, I was drinking stupid juice. My name was Magazine for 15, 20 years before Cozy. It was the one right before Cozy.
Whoa.
So everything I did on WoW, RuneScape, Guitar Hero, Overwatch, all Magazine. Magazine, and then Cozy was next.
That's kind of a ring to Magazine too.
I liked
though.
Magazine. I was almost gonna do it, like going into content creation, but then I don't know. I just wanted a fresh start.
Yeah.
I like Cozy better.
Thank you.
Because you just saw a pillow one day and you're like, oh, that looks cozy.
Yeah, everyone's like, "What's a D?" I feel like so many people think there's gonna be some awesome story behind why Cozy. A lot of the times when you're doing content creation, kind of what you just said, you don't think you're gonna like blow up or anything like that. You just like. I was like, this is cool. Long story short, my wife had a pillow with Cozy on it. And I was like, that's a cool word. And so then I was at work and I was like, I'm going to be Cozy Gamer. That's what I'm going to be.
It's a very aesthetic word.
Yeah.
It is. I like
symmetrical.
the word. It's a good one. Yeah, Cozy. And then I had the chance with the new channel because I was going to make a new channel for Snap. I'm like, okay, this is it. I can rebrand. I was like, Cozy Snap. That was it. Funny enough. And I think you had... I actually saw you were one of the only people doing Snap content whenever I started. There was only a few of us because you started kind of late. Yeah.
Yeah, official launch.
Dude, it was cool. When you would upload videos, it would show you how many other channels there were with those tags. Did you ever see that? When you would choose Marvel Snap, there were 6 other channels when I was uploading them. And like Clash Royale has like 150,000, like an insane number of people that have uploaded a video on a unique channel with Clash Royale as its game.
So it was you. I'm trying to name them because I almost said it was you,
TLSG,
Binks, with kind of Binks and TL were doing like daily videos.
Yeah.
And then I think Jeff, Drew Barry, and then myself, and then Drew Barry. I remember did this video on like up and coming content creators you should check out.
Oh, yeah.
And I was on it. I had 400 subs when he did the video, and he's like, "This Cozy guy."
Did he have more subs than you?
Oh yeah,
at the time
I only had 400 subs. Yeah, at the time. Yeah. And he's like, "This Cozy guy came out of the woodworks." Is what he put. But that was cool back then when and we would just rate each other on Twitch. Yeah, no, back then, the old days, 6 months ago. But we would just rate each other. Yeah, it was fun.
You and Drew?
And no, just Twitch. Yeah, anyone that was doing it on Twitch. Alex was in there too on Twitch. Good times. But yeah, Magazine, Deck, Yarn, and
which was a nickname from college.
I explained Yarn, but I didn't explain Orange Juice.
Explain Orange Juice.
Orange Juice, this
is deep, guys.
This was when I was going skiing every day, and it was like
real deep.
Every day in the morning, we need to get load up on calories because skiing burns a lot of calories. Yeah. So we'd get a sausage egg or a bacon egg, depending. We'd just rotate every day so we didn't get bored and get a side of orange juice. I had some left over on the trip, and I had on my table that day. Oh shit! I got to think of a channel name. Orange Juice. All right, sure, whatever. I'm not gonna overthink it because I get name paralysis. Because back in our days, the unique names are really crippling because everything's already taken.
Yeah.
My first name wasn't Deck. My first name was XX Midget Man XX. Because I was really short.
I'm not surprised whatsoever. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, that was my first name. My second name, which stuck for a while, which is my Steam name, I guess. My first Steam name.
Yeah.
Was Ultimate Victor because Victor's my middle name, and I really liked Ultimate Spider-Man. So it's actually kind of full circle, I guess.
Yeah, it's foreshadowing.
Victory.
So I didn't know what to call myself. It was Ultimate Victor. It's so cringe, but yeah. Midget Man.
I loved it the old days.
XX _ Man.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I just love when you're at school and you're like, yeah, what's your gamer tag? And you're like, yeah, Shadow Killer 97. Cool. He's like, but the O is a 0, and then every time, yeah. So what was the if you guys did a lot of, were you more solo player or multiplayer games growing up?
Multiplayer for me.
Yeah.
Depends on what era of growing up.
Were you guys Nintendo or PS2 kids or PlayStation kids?
Nintendo.
Mostly Nintendo.
Same here.
Nintendo and PC.
I played everything.
You were Nintendo for sure, though, yeah? All your music's Nintendo.
I guess mostly Nintendo, but I played a lot of Xbox.
What?
If that counts.
I liked the Xbox controller better.
Yeah.
That was why I played it over other consoles.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, I was going to go on a tangent about Nintendo. I think Nintendo's, it was foreign to me, man. I loved
Nintendo 64 is probably my forming console, I would say. Playing
one.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh my god, I love that.
Puzzle pieces.
That was so good.
That was
That's
classic.
when someone says what's the most iconic game for you? Besides WoW, because I was older and so it I have more memories I remember, but Banjo-Kazooie, man, like
So good.
Mine was
Witch.
DK64, dude. I
DK64,
Yeah.
Banjo Kazooie.
Yeah, they can't make games like that.
Oh,
anymore.
DK64 where you needed the expansion slot because it
Yeah.
required more memory.
More RAM. You're like, now we're cooking. It's like, like 2 extra RAM or something. Yeah. That was,
2 megabytes.
yeah, exactly. Maybe kilo.
that's wild.
But yeah, those are glory days for sure. And then doing like Smash tournaments and I got into Smash pretty competitively.
I did play a lot of Smash.
Who was your?
Fox.
You, of course. So
What a
Everybody.
turtle. Ugh. I bet you played Guile too from Street Fighter.
No, I actually
Well,
didn't
there's
play.
nothing wrong with Guile. It's just
yeah,
turtle.
I didn't play too much Street Fighter.
Okay.
I did a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom. Yeah, that
Oh yeah,
was a good one. Did you guys?
Marvel
do
vs. Capcom 2.
Yeah, it was a fantastic game.
I didn't play a lot of those.
I played a little bit, but I stopped playing because my friends were better than me and it made me mad. That was like the one thing I couldn't beat them on.
Yeah, it's funny you say that you were very like competitive, the better one out of your group for video games. I was too. Did you find yourselves the
Yeah.
same? I'm wondering if that's like a common trend for YouTubers.
I also noticed it in just, and this isn't like a cocky thing, but like sports. Like I've always been able to latch onto something, understand it well, and like perform well at it from like a mental standpoint, and then physical if it was like playing different sports or
I think
whatever.
it's competitive gene because people would
Yeah.
go home and accept, oh, I didn't make 10 baskets, and then I would go home and be like, man, why didn't I make 10 baskets?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that was
I noticed that with sports with Chief Pat
really.
because right off the bat, it's like anything we pick up, it's like, why is this guy better at driving than everyone else? This is making me mad. He's beating me at everything. I'm a good driver.
Yeah.
driving.
Yeah, no, it was just the quick knack to pick everything up.
Yeah.
We were playing Mario Party
Classic.
last time with Kairos and Ben and
Which one?
it was the new one on the Switch, like Mario Party All Stars.
when
it
they,
has
like,
the
redid it,
classic
yeah.
ones.
It's great.
And Kairos and Ray and Nat were there, and it was great. I've never been beaten in mashing in Mario Party. Like, wait, what is this? Kairos is matching my speed. What do I have to like learn the Ludwig technique to like double mash?
Yeah, there you go. Okay, nice pull, by the way. Yeah, for sure.
Like I could do single smash and beat anyone, but I was like, okay, we're matching on speed now. I know it's crazy. Me, Kairos, and Ray were neck and neck. And I'm like, okay, wow, we're all gamers here. I don't like this. This is making me uncomfortable. Why are they?
Oh man, my bachelor party, we did Mario Party, but every star someone got, everyone else who didn't get a star had to take a shot, and it ended up being,
no.
and you could still, and at the end there's bonus stars, and we're like,
Yep.
dear God, gentlemen, like, good luck. And
See you in a day or two.
Yeah, and stealing a star from somebody was like the most intentional, like you would just like, you were the devil just doing it, and it felt so good. Oh man, did you play Mario Party?
Yeah, I played a lot of it.
Yeah,
I played all of them. Or 1, 2, 3, 4.
that was a class. 2 was the best, I think. The
think that's
costume
it.
ones. That was good.
Yeah.
Did you play any Mario Party more?
No, I feel like I missed a lot of those.
Wow.
You said you were a Nintendo guy. Come on.
Yeah, but it was like, I don't know. I was a Nintendo guy at the very beginning of it, and then I feel like I got into sports more, or was like outside more than doing stuff.
We had a
Inside.
good mix. My wife asked me that, like, what are we gonna do with our son, like, with like video games and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? Like, I feel like my parents are good. Like, I loved video games, and yes, I was borderline probably obsessed with them, but I loved being outside and
Yeah.
exploring. And I feel like I naturally would go out there until the sun went down, whatever, come back, play Sonic Battle 2.
Yeah, that
race
was
my
that was
Geo
back
pet.
then. My mom just expected me to come back when sunset hit. That was
I'm impressed I survived. I look back at some of the stuff I did, like going in caves and stuff. I'm like, stuff I wouldn't even do now. Yeah, it was wild.
Just way back in the woods.
Yeah. I think that I'm in San Diego right now. I think that's one of the things I'm going to want from my kid is to have that exploration. Whereas in San Diego, I mean, you have the beach or whatever, but
Texas woods, man, too. They could be
Insane.
dangerous.
Yeah, that's for
Rattlesnakes, scorpions,
Oh,
tarantulas.
sure. You learn so much from like other kids, and like, did you guys grow up in like a cul-de-sac?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Did you have a group of friends in the cul-de-sac?
I would just bike around for a kilometer until I find someone playing outside. Hey, I recognize that kid. I played with him last week. Let's go around.
Oh, that's cool. I like that for sure. We had like a hierarchy. We had like, it was like the Goonies. We had like the guy,
yeah.
like the one that was older than us. And I was like the little small kid. So they're like, do this for us,
Dude, I remember night games where we would play like capture the flag. You'd cut the cul-de-sac in half, and like these
yeah.
4 houses were versus those 4 houses. All the kids were within like 3 years of each other.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we thought it was so late, and it was probably like 5:30, but it's like, oh, we're staying out so late. The street light came on.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I played street hockey with my
Yeah.
peeps. Yeah, I played a lot of hockey, which is funny because I'm not even from Canada, so that's
Texas has a pretty big hockey scene.
Decent. I think we just like hitting people. So it's like football, hockey, yeah, whatever you can do to hit someone, I guess. But yeah. So did you play sports? Either of you two?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not very athletic. I played a lot of soccer. I did a bicycle kick once where I scored a goal.
Whoa.
That's
Not too many people can say that.
You said that before. You're like, I'm not athletic, but I've done a bicycle kick. I could never. I was athletic and I could never do that.
Yeah, it was kind of an accident. I slipped in the mud. I really wish it was filmed, but everyone was like cheering. It was like no one could believe that I did it. I didn't know what was going on. They were just like so excited for me, and I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. But yeah, that's when I peaked. I think I was like 12.
When I slipped on the mud.
Yeah, it was an accident, but most people don't know.
I played a lot of basketball, soccer, and everything casually. I was really good at running, really fast, short
did cross country.
Yeah, I was really good at that. Like I was on the soccer team in middle school.
Okay.
Because the coach saw I was really fast.
Yeah.
And then once I was actually on the team, he benched me once he realized I couldn't kick the ball.
Jerk.
Oh man, yeah. I feel like sports played a big impact in my life, like for career, for gaming, everything. I think it formed a bit of my competitiveness, like you said, and that drives me with passion, which I think is important to have passion over mixed in with your competitiveness, which I think is how you make it as a YouTuber too. Is just the obsession and compassion compassion, but competition. So
the passion to continually learn and just grow and.
Never settling.
That's why, like you were saying, you wonder about the relationship of gaming with your son and stuff. Like I think about that too. I feel like gaming has made me so decisive. Like I feel like if I were about to get into a car accident and someone else who doesn't game was about to get into a car accident, I wouldn't get in one and they would. Because like reaction time and like being able to like, you're aware of your surroundings and decision making and all that kind of stuff. I think it plays a huge role.
I used to always say that to my mom. I was like, I'm working on my hand-eye coordination. That's what I always
It's a real thing. There is a psychiatrist that wrote a book about this, and gamers, she did a few studies. It's not like a full meta-analysis of the entire scientific community, but she did a journal on this, and gamers pick up reaction speed faster, better spatial awareness. Not better, but you pick up spatial awareness, you pick up logic, problem solving from gaming. Not to say that it's better, but it helps grow those areas.
I learned economics from RuneScape, like completely, like on how to barter,
That was me in Diablo and MapleStory.
Oh yeah, and I like used it like in life after.
I manipulated the market and.
Did you do D4 real money auction house?
No, I didn't do D4.
Oh, so D3.
I didn't do D3 real auction house. That was when I was like, you know what? Diablo 2 destroyed my life. I'm not going to touch Diablo 3. I'm scared.
Don't you love when you like a game so much that you're like, I know I'll love it, so I can't play it. That's me with everything now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was when I like shorted the market on SOJ rings. I knew this 2-hour window on US West that I could short the entire market, inflate the price, and resell it a little bit in that 2-hour window.
What's your biggest?
That's wild.
What's your biggest? Everyone says like, what's your favorite game? What game do you hated or you thought was way overhyped? You just couldn't click with it, didn't understand it.
I don't even know if I have one. Somebody else answer. Do you have one?
Mine is the best game that really affected my life was Diablo 2. Came straight home every day, played until 3 a.m. Then my dad yelled at me, like, why aren't you waking me up for school at 7 a.m.? It's because you were playing games till 3 a.m.
Like it. Did you ever hate a game? Did you hate a game ever? Do you recall? Or like all your friends played a game, you just didn't like it, couldn't get into it?
I liked all games.
Yeah,
I've played FPS games. I've played RPG games and everything. I love all genres.
I think it was because I was a Nintendo kid. I hated PlayStation stuff. I was like Ratchet and Clank or whatever. I was like Mario. Man.
Oh
like,
yeah, no. Now if you
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot is probably one that comes to mind that everybody talked about that I probably never like.
Jack and Dexter. That also has kind of a part in my name.
I was gonna say
Dexter.
Yeah. Fit in there.
I feel like I thought that it looked cool, but I never really took the effort to play them or anything.
It is funny that gaming is, and you grow up thinking like how cool it would be to play video games for a living, and then you play video games for a living, and it's not playing video games for a living, and it's like one.
It is for the first little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of back end behind it, the business, and just managing people that help you with maybe some artists or editors and everything, and the meetings and emails that we have, like Tribe that helps us with.
Yeah. I think that's an interesting topic to think about because so many people do say, like, when you tell someone what your job is, they're like, oh man, that sounds like a lot of fun. That must be amazing. And it's like, yeah, just like any job, there are fun seasons within it. But at the same time, it can just be friggin' stressful.
Explaining to people, just the average person, what you do is such a, even like our Uber driver on the way here was like, what do y'all do? And it's like, we're YouTubers. And
that's a funny question though. What do you say to someone where you don't want the conversation to continue when they ask you what you do?
What do I do? Online marketing. If I like really want to just nip it, but typically I'll say I'm a YouTuber and I just hope they don't say, what do you do on YouTube? And I just say Marvel, and then they do one more. I'm like, I'm a Marvel gamer. Yeah. But
I say I'm in video production. And they're like, oh, that's cool. And if they go any further, what type of video production do you do? I say I work with gaming companies.
Oh, that's smart.
And so then it doesn't like go any deeper to, I don't know, trying to explain it, especially to older people, to whereas I'm like, this conversation isn't going to go anywhere.
You're in the dating scene, so it's got to be weird for you too. Like, what do you do? I'm a YouTuber. Well, what do you do?
I used to tell them that I'm a digital marketer. And, you know, that's part of like thumbnails and titles. If you don't have good thumbnails and titles, people aren't going to click your video. You're not going to get the views.
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
So, yeah, I was just digital marketer. It never really went off.
How about you?
I just say editor because that sounds really boring.
Yeah, they don't dip into that. They're like, oh, cool, whatever.
Right.
I edit video.
I feel like we're really similar. We like to keep to ourselves. And I like to be that guy in the corner in a party and just like, just observe. I don't like to talk about myself.
Yeah.
And
And
I like to analyze.
You like to analyze.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So are you an introverted extrovert? You strike me as an introverted extrovert. Both of you guys do.
Yeah.
Where you can like fill up from both. Like you get rejuvenated from being by yourself, and you also get rejuvenated from hanging out with people you care about.
I thought you guys get rejuvenated by yourself, but when you're around people, like when I got to know both of y'all, you became extroverts a lot more rather than, but if you're at a party, you would be kind of analyzing off to yourself a bit more, or no?
Ambivert?
Is that what it is?
I think it's called an ambivert.
Yeah.
Is there a new name? I'm just
That's a thing.
just an extroverted.
You're
extrovert.
uncultured.
So yeah, I'm a double extrovert.
No, I think I'm introverted mostly. I don't need a lot of socialization.
But that's so interesting because you spend so much time talking to
It's kind of
people.
weird.
Like obviously it's a different connection and relationship when you're talking to screen names.
Right.
But it's still the act of pursuing conversation.
Does it fill your cup as an extrovert? Or as for you guys, for your social cup, does it fill your cup talking to people online?
I think that's so interesting. Here's what I would say. I think it fills my cup with. It fills my cup with a substance that holds no weight. So like a gas, to where you feel like you're spending time with people. But one thing I would say about YouTube is it is actually extremely lonely. Like even if you're filming with the same person all the time, it can still feel really lonely because you don't have that like physical interaction that you actually get like filled up with by being around someone. So it's kind of like a facade. Like you feel like you're filling up, but then a month later you're like, man, I kind of feel lonely.
Yeah, which is why I think I've become great friends naturally and lose friends from it that are YouTubers. Meeting other YouTubers, it's meeting someone that can relate so quickly is insane. To know like you know what the sleep schedule is like, you know what the grind's like, you do immediately have that to connect on. First time I met you, OJ, we talked about it for 4 hours. So like it's such an easy thing to be like, wow, I feel known. And outside of my significant other, it's tough because she's the only one that sees it. So it does feel lonely. The empty cup thing, yeah, from the viewers, I would say so at times. From like friends online, like those are my best buddies now. Like I talk to you guys all the time. And when I met you here, this is the first time I'm meeting them in public. I gave them I felt like I've known you for years.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
It's kind of weird.
It is weird.
It's like a dual parasocial relationship.
Yeah.
You've seen his videos. He's seen your videos. So it's like, hey, we've been friends for like years.
Talked on Discord, stuff like that. But
I've like barely talked to OJ at all, but I was just like, oh, there's OJ.
I was on the sofa. I didn't even look at you because I was just really just recovering. I literally just flew from EDC straight to here.
This man came from EDC. If you don't know what that is, it's the Electronic Dance Carnival, right? And I've been, guys, and when I went, I took 2 weeks to recover. And even then, I still am not the same. You were just as fine as the day I met you last
I don't know
time.
if I would say I was
Outwardly.
melted in the sofa yesterday.
I was like, this guy's a dick.
Impressed. Yeah, I was impressed.
Yeah, it was. It ended at 6 a.m. and then the bus takes an hour to get back, and then my flight was at noon. Like, you know what? If I lay down, it's over. So
You have to give up passions in your life as a YouTuber, and I feel like music is one of the passions I miss because I used to be obsessed with finding like Coachella did that for me, finding these undiscovered people, or EDM. I miss that amongst the most. Now I just listen to freaking Nintendo beats to put on my videos.
Same.
I think the thing you said about giving up passions to be a YouTuber is so interesting because it is a constant comparison, but also just race of like, well, I mean, I can't get left behind, so I have to stay up late and work.
My life would be so much better if Dexter didn't exist.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah. It's like, oh, he's putting out a video tomorrow. I got to keep grinding. Or he's going to put me in the dirt.
I think the same thing that we all have in common, obviously with gaming, is that we're all really passionate. Whether you had to give up a different passion for this, like I still love anime. I'm not going to give that up. Usually when I'm on the treadmill for like an hour or whatever, it's either I'll watch 2 episodes of anime or I'll watch a podcast about the YouTube algorithm. And there's always like something that we're passionate about.
And there's ways to still be able to draw that in. Like if you're creating thumbnails or whatever, it's like, okay, should I take this as a moment to kind of separate from what I'm doing or from the thing that takes up all of my time? Because man, I feel like it's crazy how fast my YouTube journey has like flown by. Like I've been doing this for over 10 years. And I remember the first time I posted a video. I remember I was working full time at a marketing firm. And I remember when I got 500 subscribers, and like, it's one of my shorts on my videos before shorts was a thing. I just filmed it vertically. I was running down the road, like screaming, thank you. And it's like still up on my channel. I think I have 3 shorts on my main channel. And it's wild to think that was like yesterday.
I have a picture of, it says 1,000 views, and my wife hung it up, and I was like, and it was through the picture, and I was so happy, and it's and I think it's cool. It's cool to look back. Right?
But just thinking about how fast that goes by, and thinking about like how you can bring in regular life back into it and stuff like that is, I don't know, important, because we can feel trapped, and I feel like a lot of times it's easy to work hard at something that you're passionate about, and a lot of times that's where burnout comes from.
There's a good work-life balance. And Kairos learned to dial it back, because when we're making games, we're constantly thinking like, how can I monetize this game? Like, how can I make a video out of it? Kairos set a boundary for that, and he said, I'm not gonna play Genshin for content. I'm just gonna play Genshin for fun. I'm gonna play RuneScape for fun. And he set clear boundaries for himself. He even, he'll say, oh, at noon, it's my lunch break. I'm going to watch 2 episodes of One Piece while I eat my lunch. So
it's hard.
It is.
I'm working on that a lot. I feel like I've sacrificed my health to second dinner over here. I'm just grinding constantly, trying to make videos. And I got burnout when I was playing Hearthstone. So I'm like approaching it very cautiously. Like I try not to play Snap if I'm not making content. Because I'd rather be excited to like play it again on my next stream than just be like, oh, I just played 10 hours last night. But
but it's so easy to get into that routine and that habit of like, I'm gonna see what's going on.
And then like anytime I play a game, I'm like, how do I monetize this? How do I turn this into a YouTube video? How do I make content? Like, should I start another channel? Because I'm really liking this game.
Right.
And it's like, oh man, do I want it to be a job, or do I want to just have fun?
You need to unwind and set boundaries for yourself. That I sacrificed a lot of my health too. I was sleeping 3 hours a day. This was from probably 2018 to 2019 to 2022, where I was sleeping 3 hours a day. I was working 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. Haven't taken a vacation in years. And that's when I gained 50 pounds over that period. And my blood pressure was high. I was like, I am literally working myself to death. I'm not living life. What's the point of me working so hard? So that's when I got everything together. I literally just was like, okay, I'm going to get better nutrition. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get custom insoles just so that, because I have flat feet, and that affects all the way from my knees up to your lower back. Especially for Asians. Most Asians have flat feet. And my brothers both have lower back pain. I went to a therapist. Everything's amazing. And everything was like a little step that helped a lot of things. Our industry for creators, we usually have like one of the highest rates of depression and anxiety. And I was in that hole. And that really affected one of my relationships during that period. And we're still great friends, and I still talk to her about that. And now that I'm more aware of it, I already talked to her about it and apologized about like the place that I was in, and that I could have done better in that relationship. But it's all growing.
I feel like that applies so much to not even just being a YouTuber, but any sort of passion that you have. It can be sports. It can be, I don't know, college. If you're in college, like, and you have a degree or whatever, like you always have to kind of set boundaries that can help you function as a human being, because you can find yourself getting trapped in the motions and then being like, whoa, what happened?
And it just doesn't happen overnight where it's like,
No.
oh, I'm depressed. It just happens so slowly that it crept up on me. I didn't even realize it was happening until it was too late.
Well, it's because we live in these micro flashes. So essentially, like, my wife will ask me about a video I did a month ago. I was like, I have no idea. I don't remember that video at all, really, because you're doing a video and then you go to the next video because your next day or whatever, even if it's a video that comes out in a couple of days. And then what happens is you end up being in these, like, it's been 2 months. And you're like, oh man, I've been ignoring sleep for 2 months or whatever it's been.
Yeah.
And it's tough. It's funny because I notice it every day and I'm like, next week's the week that I'm going to really start to get healthy or whatever.
I had a lot of brain fog for like a year straight. Maybe it was from Rona or something. It was probably because I wasn't sleeping at all.
Oh yeah. Sleep and or just like, I think Nate Shot talked about like just the, Adderall in general too. A lot of creators are on Adderall, and not that there's anything you could be prescribed it, but it has you living the motions very quickly too, and it helps you kind of get to the next day, and then you take it again, and you keep going, and that's very common too. That creates like fog, and there's just a lot of dangerous stuff that you don't even know where you're like kind of going through. So it's kind of wild, Yeah. What's the next? Let's cheered up. Yeah. What's the next?
I think conversations like this are important. Like, obviously, you don't want to have just Debbie Downer time or whatever, but there's positives to glean from these types of conversations. It can help anybody in scenarios to push forward.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about burnout. Like, I love my passion was gaming, and so I lost gaming to fill back up like myself.
Right.
Because I think what you were saying, if I don't feel like I'm making content, I won't really game anymore. I don't have time to. I could be with my wife or doing my hobby. So Snap, I was done. I was done doing games because I was doing IRL content. I was having so much fun with it. And just like games can suck you in for content. And my brother was like, you got to play Marvel Snap. This was in May last year. It's been a year now, actually, as of this week that Marvel Snap was announced and came out. And we started playing it. And I was like, man, this is a lot of fun. Like, this is so much fun. And I started loving it so much that I was like, I'm going to make a channel. Like, this is too much fun. I've got to make a channel on it. And it just turned in something that was a passion side project into, what's now my career. So kind of crazy.
I feel like OJ looks like he's in deep thought.
No, I was going to say something like 5 minutes ago, and I'm still trying to remember that.
It's the brain fog.
It is. It's from the weekend.
Yeah.
Go to sleep.
So what I want to talk about is the balance of quality over quantity, because I think with all of us, we have different approaches to it, and or you've shifted through the changes throughout your content creating career. And OJ, I want you to kind of start with that, with quality versus quantity. What's more important, and or what do you do now? What do you think works for you?
I think that people always stress about the algorithm, and they're like, oh, what's the one trick to blow up?
Yeah.
There's one comment on the podcast last time. Someone was like, oh, bring Judo Sloth on because he suddenly went from making 50K views in Clash of Clans to getting 1 million views per video. And they're like, what is the one trick that he did? What is the one hack that he learned? We want to learn that about the podcast. You know what the one trick is? Make good shit.
Yep.
Quality videos will always be king. Content has been king on the internet since the beginning. That's how SEO has always worked. And it's getting better and better at finding good content because the data signals are getting more and more accurate as the internet ages.
And people have to understand that it's not, like, I feel like so many people, especially after like the whole GameStop thing, it's like, oh, I want to make this much money this fast. And like all of us can look at our YouTube journeys, and I had a full-time job where I was uploading daily for 2 years. I think I made $10 my first year of like grinding it out. And I always hear people, like so many people like, oh, can you give me a shout out to help me grow or whatever? And I'll go to their channel and they'll have one video. And it's like people just want instant gratification. And if you put out good content all the time, it'll take time for people to find it. But then when they do, that's where you get like those hockey stick things to where it's just like, boom.
I have shouted out people in the past, and I could see them get 100 subs, and then their next video, they're back to 100 views because they're not making quality content.
Dude, I shouted out these 2 brothers because they asked for it. I went to their channel and they were posting daily, and now they have more subs than my main channel does. And like they reached out and they were like, yo, thank you so much for helping like kickstart this. It's wild because they made good content.
and it's funny to what you were saying there, because you have to do something with that shout out or whatever and be prepared for it, right? And or like people say YouTube's for luck. Well, here's the thing. The algorithm's going to push one of your videos, and so all of your videos should be quality, because the one it does decide, it's probably not going to be the one you want to, right? That we've all been there, I think. But if you don't capitalize on that opportunity, it's meaningless. I was in a competition with a Ludwig competition, and the winner got to have Ludwig stream for 5 hours on his stream key and with his audience.
Whoa.
And you could come up with whatever concept you wanted. You could do it with Ludwig. And the guy that won did not the greatest job, I would say, with his chance of exposure, and nothing happened to his channel. Nothing happened with growth wise, and it kind of just died out after that.
Yeah.
I remember being so mad. I wanted that so badly, because I was like, I think I could have done this X, Y, Z. But it is interesting to say, like, even these people that get reality shows or whatever, you're given that kind of one shot to prove that you're worth, the time investment.
Yeah.
But
It's how you respond to the quote unquote luck. Like, you hear about that in sports, like golf. If somebody gets a good kick off of a tree or whatever, and it's like, oh wow, well, I mean, they were handed that opportunity. It's like, well, yeah, they were handed that opportunity, but they responded to that opportunity well.
Yeah.
And so being able to do that in scenarios where you get shout outs or you have a viral video, because all of us have had those scenarios where we're like, why the freak did that video do so good? And then it's like, okay, now the next one has to be really good, and then the next one has to be good, and the next one has to be good. And I think honestly that's something that can generate that workaholic type attitude. And so that's where that balance comes. It's like, okay, I need to respond well to this, but also not like freak out too much.
So you guys were from the older YouTube days, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
So quantity and quality, right? So
Yeah,
you didn't have
that's where
to
we started.
edit, right?
Right.
For you did you want to make
He started with quality.
quality and polish and data, which is what I've loved to do. That's same here. When did you decide, like, hey, I need to it's better to get more videos out, or I'm going to be less polished, or I don't have to get every shot out?
It was a slow transition that didn't happen overnight. I remember in the beginning, it would take me, 4 to 10 hours to R&D the mechanics of a specific card, and then another 4 hours to script a 10-minute video, like a 5-page script to read the entire thing, and then it would take 60 recordings to get every single interaction I needed for that one specific card. And in Clash Royale, you can't exit. You have to keep 3 crowning the King Tower to exit. And that's 3 minutes every single time per clip. And that took a long time. And then on top of that, then I had to take the clips and sync it with my audio and everything. And that took a lot of effort. And then I started doing more face cams with that, just to mix it up, and then it slowly transitioned to me doing more face cams. I still do strategy videos. I've been doing how to use whatever card comes out.
Yeah, anytime
since
a new one.
2016. It's just that Clash Royale used to release 20 cards. Now they release like 2 cards a year.
Oh, wow.
So a fun fact, people are like, oh, I miss the old OJ. Well, I miss the old Clash Royale because I still have not missed a beat. I cover every single strategy video.
Yeah.
Man. And so then with that,
to answer your question, my strategy videos were super scripted. So if I missed a beat, I mispronounced a word, that would be my entire comment section. And it was eating me alive. Like, oh no, I wasn't perfect. Now it's like, I'm still quality. I'm just more true to myself, where on my personal Instagram, I follow all these shit post meme pages, and that is me.
Yeah.
Like filming the podcast on an ironing board. That's like me. I love that it looks so crappy, but I know that the conversations are still really cool.
Yeah.
Like, an ironing board's not going to affect how we talk.
Right. And it's relational. Like I think that I think there's positives to quantity and quality, because you have different types of consumers of your product. There are some people who just want to hang out with someone that they respect and view as a friend online, and so like that was for me, it's like I'm just going to pump out videos and be myself and like not edit stuff out. And that's not for everybody. A lot of people don't want to get serious or be real. And like, that's who I've always been. And so you have those audience members who are like, oh, I want to hang out with somebody daily. And then the other ones who are like, I want to learn a lot right now. And then that's more for those people.
Not to diminish your content. Your editing, you didn't need to edit because you're a really good talker.
Yeah.
So
I'm good at filling space.
Yeah. And it was very real looking at the videos from 2016 where you're just going off and things. It was really great without edits.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it's so the first game I covered was small, but I was able to leave a director's job in hospitality and do that full time with only 10,000 subs on YouTube, and I got a full time salary, better than what that was because of community.
Yeah.
Because I was focused on the community aspect of, and the pandemic was going on, and so you kind of more thirsty than ever. People wanted to be a part of something, so I would do Friday night board game night on Twitch, and I would play board games virtually with people and do different things like categories, and everyone had their own cards and different things like that. And so that was what I focused on over getting a big break on a big game. I was, doing some Disney game, and it, for a long time, until I had a kid, really, it lasted to do this community piece. So I think there is a thing to be said about quality, but then there's also quantity, guys. I know YouTubers. That's what I respect you so much for. You are the king of quantity.
Yeah, and low effort. I don't know. I kind of just make content that I think I would like to watch myself is kind of how it started.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a hole in the market for something, and then that's kind of what I go for. I don't try and do super high edits because like I can't compete with you, right? So it's like, why are people going to try and watch my video that looks like half-assed when they can just watch a cozy video or something? So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing because it's working also.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of my effort goes into the back end, like trying to find decks. Like every morning before I stream, I'm spending like hours just like trying to put together some cool decks to play throughout my stream. And then while I'm streaming, I'm just filming to make a YouTube video. I'm like, okay, I got some good videos or some good games that were showcasing this part of the deck. Then I just get enough, and then I stop playing that deck. I move on to the next deck, and it's just like that constantly. And then I just cut an intro, slap it on the front. I've tried doing high effort intros.
That already sounds high effort. You're spending hours planning the deck and everything.
Yeah.
You're finding specific timestamps in your really long stream to find the highlight moments. That's not low effort to me.
The effort's just directed in different locations.
Exactly.
You perfected it too.
Yeah, I think because I've been doing this same exact thing for like 6 years almost, where I'm just doing deck videos with intros. I've changed my intros. Sometimes I used to actually like go over the deck, do like turn by turn sort of stuff. And I realized like people would just click off and start watching me play. So I'm like, okay, people just want to watch me play. So I just started playing and talking over that. And that's kind of it. And then I just constantly pump out content, being consistent.
But there's something to be said about quantity, because there's a lot of people that love to watch a specific YouTuber daily, right? Like they're on there. There's the deck. They don't even care if they like Patriot decks. They're gonna go watch you because you're there. Like they've got your Patriot deck, and that's where I struggled a long time. Is not I was always naturally, as I say this, hilarious. I was always naturally gifted just speaking and not having cuts, and I was able to just kind of get through full takes.
Yeah.
But I'd be self-critical on myself on a lot of like, well, is that even right? Maybe I need to play 20 games to back up the statement I just said. And then I wouldn't post the video. And that was the eternal battle. Even today, my podcast, I was like, I hate it. I wasn't going to post it. In fact, I waited to post it because I didn't like it. And then now I'm glad it's out there. So it's a tough thing to get through that mental, that quality. But you don't watch all your videos that you release because you streamed it?
I used to, but I take really good notes while I'm streaming. And I put markers about the game, like, oh, this was really close, and I used this card, and then they use that card. So I'm like, okay, I really want to put this one at the front of the video. I'm like, put this first, put this second, put this third.
You're editing in real time. That is some quality ass stuff you're doing.
And I'm like, oh, this game was really close. It was tight butthole. Like, put that in there. I'm like, okay. So like, those are my notes. And now I've stopped because I'm trying to take more time for myself. Like, I have an editor, and they just go through my markers, and they're doing a great job.
You handwrite it down while you're streaming, or you just type it up on
I actually do both. If you're streaming on Twitch, you can do /marker and then type whatever, and it'll pop up
in the chat. It just doesn't show up to chat.
It won't show up to the chat, but it'll show up in your highlighter mode or your editing mode.
Yeah.
So then if you give someone editing access, they could see those markers exactly where they are.
Yep.
That's sick.
So I just gave him editor access, and then he goes, he grabs it, he downloads my VODs. I still do thumbnails and stuff, but because my markers are so descriptive, we're like just really refining what games make the cut.
Yeah.
And I'll mark something like, this is pretty good, but maybe it's just filler. Yeah. And I kind of leave it up to his discretion because I don't go back and watch them.
Yeah.
And then he can cut it out or he can put it in. And then, he just uploads it.
Live editing.
Yeah, I've tried to cut back. I did my own editing for 5-6 years. I just recently switched to an editor like 2-3 months ago. So it's been nice. I have more time to do leisurely activities. I guess.
You say that as if you're
Sometimes-
forcing it. I
Yeah.
am here to enjoy my time leisurely.
I mean, it's hard. I always want to keep making more videos or like trying to make more content. So I have to like force myself like to sit on the couch and watch TV or something.
Every time I hire someone new, it's like, oh, great. I'm freeing more time up for myself, so I have more time to work.
Yeah, that's what I was going to pick up. Yeah.
Once I got my editor, I started a VOD channel. I started a podcast, and I was like, "Fuck, why did I do this?"
Need to hire another one.
Yeah, so now maybe I'll get another one.
I'm 6 channels deep now.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness.
Can you imagine?
Is it going to end? Is there going to be a 7?
I want the 7th for tech review, but that's going to be the final one.
Okay.
But only if I can build up the infrastructure to do so.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to take way too much time.
I want to take all, after this is all said and done, I think my wife asks me all the time, like, what about after Marvel Snap, right?
Yeah.
And I love thinking ahead. With the quality aspect, storytelling is what leads me to doing a lot of what I do. I did IRL content, so going to this, I'm like, if I want to do a game again, I want to storytell. And so that's like a lot of my content is that. But after this, I have learned I've self-taught every skill that I have, every edit, every Photoshop, everything. I never want to be dependent on somebody. If someone got sick, I had an editor one time, he got sick. He's like, I can't get a video out, and I didn't get one out. I was like, I'm done with this. And so I learned it. And I want to be able to do a creative company. So I'm going to kind of form an infrastructure of teaching what that looks like and how to do it. Yeah.
You could always be my editor if you want.
Yeah, right. I love editing. I'm slowly losing my love for editing. I still like it, not near as much as graphic design, but I still enjoy putting something together. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Are you guys self-taught on most of the skills that you learned?
I went to school for visual communications, which is where I learned Photoshop. But honestly, I learned Photoshop from YouTube. So my first channel was Photoshop tutorials. I would teach people how to do stuff on Photoshop, and that was probably 13 years ago at this point. But I probably only have 5 videos on that channel because I learned so much from it. Like you're saying, you learned that and you want to be able to teach that to other people. I learned Photoshop by watching other people do it. And so then I was like, and that's kind of why I got into YouTube as well and playing games, because I want to teach people stuff because I think I'm good at it and I think that it's fun to do so. But yeah, self-taught in the form of I'm going to watch YouTube videos and then kind of put my own spin on that type of thing,
Yeah, I wanted to teach people. I wanted to be like, did you guys watch Harris Heller before you, at some point?
I watched him when he was just blowing up.
Yeah, same here. That was exactly when did you watch Harris? Really, he's a charming guy is the best way to say it. And he knows his stuff for sure. He definitely taught me a lot about production side of alerts or whatever. I have a Charmander pop up when I got a sub or something cool like that.
Yeah.
And with him, I think, so I wanted to do something like that. That was the only other channel I had. I did 2 videos and I wanted to teach people how to stream and how to do OBS. But then I realized there's really no prerequisite for that.
Yeah.
There's so many of those videos being made daily that you are in a pond. You're just a fish in the pond. So yeah, you have to pick a niche, but I think people are focused too much on niches sometimes. Mm-hmm. And then they're niched of a niche of a niche.
And then you're suddenly focused on turtle poop.
Exactly. You're turtle poop and talking about why turtle poop is important for the environment. The way you said turtle poop, by the way, I could do that on the recording for ASMR. That was fantastic. Turtle poop.
Here's one. How do you see skills from before YouTube affecting YouTube? What did you bring from your life experiences that has made you successful in YouTube?
I feel like it's just analytics, being analytical and being willing to learn, being able to teach yourself things. I feel like most content creators, it's like, I want to make a good video. How do I edit? It's like, I don't know. So you start with a basic edit. And
Being
how do I get better?
To learn is one of the biggest traits that we all have.
Yeah.
It's to continually grow. Mr. Beast says that YouTube is easy. Just keep posting videos and make each video 1% better than the last one. And it's very easy in the beginning to do that because you learn something every day. You learn how to do a different edit. You learn how to do a different cut. You learn how to do something with storytelling. And it just keeps adding on from there. And then you learn Photoshop and all these things. And all these skill sets just add up.
Yeah.
I live by that. And it's important to be able to, probably for a year straight for my content creating, I looked at myself, I'm like, this stuff is damn good, right? And then you watch it again, I watch the old stuff, I'm like, this is atrocious. Like this was...
Oh, I'm glad we both agree.
Oh my gosh, right? And so, you've even said, I remember I was like, hey, I'm going to do this new thing. And you're like, your videos are already like good. And I was like, yeah, but I want them better each time.
You keep trying to one up yourself. And it's fair. It's good to constantly get better, but it's hard.
I think
you put so much
it,
time into it.
Yeah. I think a lot of it depends on where that desire to one up come from. If it comes from wanting to better your content because that's what you want, then that's good. But I think all of us can talk about how YouTube makes us compare ourselves to others. And it's like, oh gosh, like I'm not good enough. I need to do this. I need to do X, Y, and Z. And then eventually you're doing it for the wrong reasons, you know?
And it doesn't work
Right.
because that's when you have everyone copying the one thumbnail.
Yep.
So like right now, I don't mind time. I don't care. Snapster's thumbnails, Dexter, a lot of people emulate them because they have great views, and they try to do the same thing, and their videos don't get views, but they see that and they're like, why is it not, right?
Yeah.
And I've already said this on a podcast, but I always compare it to Five Guys. If you open a burger restaurant with 1 million burger places, no one's going to go to yours, right? Even if you copy Five Guys perfected Five Guys recipe, doesn't matter. Or A&W, sorry, A&W.
Five Guys is good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a good comparison is if someone opened up Six Guys and they had a crappy burger recipe.
Six guys.
Six Guys.
Yeah.
We have one extra guy here.
Yeah. It's like no one's going to go to that. You can't just copy one for one. Well, the start is that your video is not good. So even though it's the same thumbnail and people are clicking it, it's signaling that it's not a good video because people are like, okay, I'm not watching this. This sucks.
Yeah. My motto, I've had this since YouTube, is when someone gets a ping on their phone that there's a new Cozy video, no matter what, I want them to be excited about it. That I don't have a filler video. That like, even we did a Kesh opening and I knew I was going to make it so different, so fun. And how many comments were, this was so much better than I expected.
Yeah.
I had no idea. That's what drives every video I make is like, I want people to be excited. Because if I make 2 lazy videos, that means that next notification, someone's like, I didn't really enjoy those. I'm not going to click on this.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's kind of that's what drives me big time. Yeah.
Make a video that you yourself would watch. When you mentioned that earlier, that's a big one that resonates with me. I mentor a lot of smaller YouTubers, and sometimes I look at their stuff. It's like, dude, you wouldn't even watch this yourself. Like, what are you putting out there? You haven't edited it. You're like, you mumbled throughout the 4-minute intro before you got into gameplay. Like, you seriously wouldn't watch this yourself. You need to, just dial back a bit and check out your content. Maybe like edit a little the intro out. I don't know how to say it nicely.
It's tough. It's tough to be a coach, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And a lot of that.
And they only came to me like, what's the one trick, OJ?
Tell me.
Yeah. To get 1 million views. I want to quit my job and play games all day.
Stop keeping it to yourself. Why don't you share that? Come on.
Tell us the one trick.
Yeah. But you said, what is something from like my life that I brought into YouTube? And one of the biggest things that I hope my son has is the ability to talk to others. And so, in conversation. And so I think that is my favorite content is collaborations.
Yeah.
And my favorite content is talking with others, because I think no matter what, when you watch a show, the best shows have multiple characters.
Yeah.
And when you have another character there, retention's better. They're more interested. If they hate me because I'm Mr. Positivity, well, maybe they like Snapster because he says, shit my ass, right? Like, so like, it is. And there's different characters to this. And so my goal is I'm figuring out how to get more characters where it's not crowded, because it's hard.
Collaborative videos are very fun to watch. Team houses always blow up because there's more people around.
You feel like you're a part of what's going on.
But there's a stigma because people think I don't want to help my competition. YouTube is such a competitive place that people don't want to do collabs sometimes. And it blows my mind because I don't think there's...
You're all in a cluster, and if
Yeah.
this person grows, this person grows. Everyone just grows together. It is a competition, but it's not. And you can't compare yourself to others. Like, comparison is the thief of joy. And that's that stems from a lot of anxiety and depression in our field, because we compare ourselves to everything else out there so much. I'm probably speaking like an old man at this point. You can, my age is showing at this point, but there's like a millionaire that was talking about how I remember the topic now, about the billionaire.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
From like 40 minutes ago.
40 minutes ago, yeah.
Write it down.
The millionaire this was on a Reddit thread, and he was saying, I've made 50 million and I'm not happier than I was when I wasn't making any millions. And he was going through the motions of, I bought a nice car, and then my friend bought a nicer car, and then I had to get a supercar, and then he got a better supercar, and then from there I had to get a hypercar.
Spaceship.
And then after the hypercar, I was like, all right, well, yachts are gonna be like 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, and the yachts just get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then a super yacht can be like 500 million for that. It's just ridiculous. And the same motions happened to his wife where she was getting a nicer purse, nicer this. And if you're in that cycle of constantly comparing yourself, whether it's a bag or subscribers or views, it doesn't lead to happiness. What does lead to happiness is self-gratitude on what you've done. And Kurzgesagt covers this very well. And I actually have a gratitude journal for that. Like, what am I grateful for? Today, I'm grateful for just like having conversations with you guys. I don't know how to say it, but it's really chill. And it's like, it's almost unwinding where we're just shooting the shit right now.
Oh, yeah. And YouTube is built to make you compare yourself because of the 1 through 10 system.
Oh gosh!
But it's so funny because even Ludwig will get, let's say 4 million would be his 1, and his 10 is 2 million views, 2 million, and he's like, "Damn, I suck," you know. Like, but it's because the yacht and you always want better, and it's finding you're never gonna have that bar. Even Beef. I don't know if you guys saw the Netflix show Beef. Did you guys end up watching that? Really great show. Good. But they finally accomplish. And they thought it was going to fix their depression and anxiety and all these things they had once they got money. And he's like, this sucks. I still don't have any of that, right? And so it's interesting to think, even if you get to where you think it is.
Did we spoil Beef?
Everybody dies.
After a certain point of money, what was it? The number changes every year because of inflation, but it's probably like 120,000 now. Once you're able to comfortably pay for everything, any more money leads to even less happiness because you end up working more and you're working like 90 hours just to maintain this job, and you're not as happy as you would be otherwise, which goes back to what you're talking about with like lack of sleep. There's a billionaire who the last year or two has spent millions on trying to reverse his aging, and it sounds crazy, but he looked at all the nutrients and vitamins and workout regimes and everything that he could do for his body. He had a full team of scientists and doctors, and he's not crazy to like, how do I say it? He's not like a quack who's trying to be immortal.
Yeah.
But he's brutally honest about it. Everything's open source. So in a way, he is kind of improving the knowledge of humanity. And when someone's like, what is the one trick? And he's just like, honestly, the one thing that I learned from this is that the number one benefit is to get a full night's sleep every day.
Yep. And you'll be better. Your videos will be better. Everything will be better if you actually, your health, I mean, like, it's crazy. But you think by staying up.
Your brain has fluids that needs to flush out every night when you sleep. And that keeps the brain fog.
Mine's clogged right now. There's a lot of fluid in there. There's a lot of fluid. I don't want to interrupt. I do want to pick this back. I know we have to be there at 7:30, gentlemen. I just want to make us aware of that. But I don't think we're even halfway done.
Oh, they're calling all of us.
Wow,
right
what
now.
are the...
Bye.
This is Peeling the Orange. Goodbye.